here's the deal. Every Monday from now on, normally we come on at 3. Every Monday is going to be at 2. And I know some people are going to be like, oh man, like my kids don't get out of school till 3. I totally get it. I totally get it. Some of you probably have school till 3 p.m. and you can't make it at 2 o'clock. But now that I have this new gig coaching in college, we have practice at that time. So I have to be able to move this up an hour. So thank you all who are going to be on and who are going to be able to still watch me at 2. But again, if you can't watch the lives at 2 p.m. on Monday, you can watch every single episode. I upload every single one to my YouTube channel, which if you just type in my name, Ashley Burkhart, don't forget the D before the T, you can find every single video that I've done for at least the past couple months. And I am definitely going to go in and post every single previous video that I've had. I've been doing this since like 2018. So there are a lot of videos on here. And every single one of them, you're going to be able to re-watch on YouTube at least by the following day. If you want to watch it instantly, as soon as we're done here, it's uploaded on Facebook too. So if you can't watch at this time every single week now, because now this is the announcement, it's going to be on at 2 p.m. on Mondays. Unless there's something else going on, I'll have to revamp the time. But 2 p.m. Mondays are going to be the new time for lives, okay? Now that we got that clear, let's start with some positivity. I'm like super white on Facebook. Let me fix that. Okay, let's start with positivity. This past weekend, I got to see one of my best friends ever. Her name is Kelsey Kloss. I've posted on Instagram, on Facebook about her so many times. But she played at LSU. She was a catcher there. And I got to meet her by coaching with the Package Deal for the past 2 years. And we had so much fun. I took her to my favorite restaurant of all time. She actually came with her husband too. So we went to my favorite restaurant, Evil Check, which is in Mishawaka. We had a good time. So that was my positivity for the week. I also have a call tonight with a brand new online training. She's actually one of my students that I worked with here in South Bend, but she just recently moved to Wisconsin. And tonight we have our first live call together, which if you guys don't know how that works for online training, we have a live call just like this. It's a video chat. And what we do is we goal set. So we set our intentions for the next however many lessons that they sign up for. These are our intentions for the next, for her, it's 6-pack of lessons. So 6 lessons and what our goal is by the end. And so we go over that on our very first call. We talk about, what are some things that maybe she struggles with, like with her mental game or confidence. And we just talk about all the things, and then we talk about, what's the main thing she wants to hit on first in her swing. So maybe it's her legs. Maybe she wants to get more power out of her legs. We talk about those things because now I have an idea of the things that she wants to get better at. So her first lesson plan is all tailored to that. And between every single one of our lessons, we have a live call. So I send a lesson plan, she does the lesson plan, we get on a call the next week. She does the lesson plan, we get on a call the next week. So that's how online training works. So if you guys are interested in any of that, go to ashleybtraining.com. We can chat about it. But that's not why I'm here on the live. Every live, I pick a coaching topic and I go off on it, okay? This week, and it's inspired by my goal setting academy that's going on, we've talked about accountability. And I want this live to be completely tailored towards your goals. So if you have not created a goal, if you do not know, what's going to be your next big goal in softball or a personal goal that you have, I recommend you go to my Smash Tribe Facebook group, which is not on the Ashley B Training page, but it's a part of it. It's a Facebook group. And I did an entire 1 hour long live going over how you can decide what your next big goal is going to be. So everybody that's in on my lessons, right, or in on the academy right now for goal setting, we're talking about goals, and it's accountability week. So I literally whipped out one of my favorite books of all time, and I'm going to preach on this favorite book of all time. And honestly, it's been like a whole year since I've read it, and I think I'm going to start rereading it again. But it's Toughness by Jay Bilas. And he's actually an ESPN commentator. He says a lot of things that make a lot of people mad, but all in all, Aubrey, hey girl, how are you? So all in all, he talks about a lot of controversial things, but in this book, it's all about toughness. So I don't care what he's saying on ESPN right now. This book changed my life, and it changed my perspective on everything regarding softball. So my dad actually gifted it to me when I was playing professionally, and it got me out of a really big rut that I had. So This book is the one that I'm going to be that I'm going to be reading to you guys. And I picked out a couple quotes that I absolutely love, and it has to do with toughness, but it also has to do with accountability. Because it's accountability week for my goal getters, my goal setters for Ashley B Goal Setting Academy, and I looked up a couple excerpts from it that I absolutely love. Hey Moose, how are you? And I wanted to share them with you. Like I even put like little, oh shoot, I just lost my page, it just shut. No! It's okay, I wrote down over here which page I want to go to. But I have little bookmarks to show me where I wanted to go. So basically, let's start off with this. Your goal is your responsibility. It's not the responsibility of your parents. It's not the responsibility of your coaches, which, by the way, when you play on a team, as a team, you should have goals that you're all responsible for. But your goal, the goal that you have on your heart, that you want to accomplish more than anything, is not anybody else's responsibility but yourself. Okay? It's your responsibility to make that goal happen. Now, other people can help you get to that goal. So you don't have to go in on it alone. Like you don't have to go in the backyard by yourself every night and go, hey, like yeah, your dad can be there. Or after practice, your coach can be there to help you get to the goal. But the thing is, your goal is your responsibility, which means it's also your responsibility to tell the people that you love what your goal is. Okay? Because like I said, you don't want to be in pursuit of something bigger than yourself by yourself. Like you need help. You need YouTube videos that you can watch to be able to get insight on how you can become a better hitter if your goal pertains to hitting. You can talk to your coaches and tell them what your big time goal is so that every single day you're at practice, they're making sure you're held accountable towards that goal. Because we all know there are times where we don't want to do the thing that we know we're supposed to do. Okay? Can I get an amen? There are times when literally you know you're supposed to be doing something and it's the last thing you want to do and you don't do it. That's where your parents, where your friends, where your teammates, where your coaches can help keep you accountable towards that goal. So all about accountability is what I'm about to read here from this book by Jay Bilas called Toughness. And I love it. So I'm actually going to start with a quote that comes from the book from Jay Bilas himself. And it says, there is no true sacrifice without belief. Okay? There is no true sacrifice without belief. And so if you believe in something and you believe in something that you want to go do and you want to go change the world with, it's your job to get other people on board to believe in what you believe in too. So let's talk about a team aspect for a second. So your team, let's say your team wants to win the state championship this year. I'm just thinking high school right now. Your team's goal is to win a state championship. If only one person on that team believes that they can go win a state championship, only one person on that team is actually going to care to go do that. And it's not going to happen. You will not get a state championship if only one person on that team cares to get one. So you have to be able to, one, believe in something bigger than yourself. But if you're on a team that is out to go do something crazy, like win a state championship, every single person on that team needs to have the same belief that you do in that thing, in that dream. Okay? So if your dream as a team, dream team, is to go win a state championship, every single person has to be on board. So this quote, there is no true sacrifice without belief, goes for your own goals and what you believe in, but also the team goals that you believe in. Because when your team believes wholeheartedly you guys can go win a state championship and you're all on the same page with it, you will sacrifice time. You will sacrifice, I don't know, like your skin, because you're like diving for balls all the time and you're like ripping your skin apart. Okay, that's kind of graphic. But you will sacrifice more when you have the common goal in mind. Got it? You will sacrifice more when you are constantly reminding yourself of where you want to be. Your team's ideal self for the team is to be at a state championship by the end of season. You have to repeat it over and over and over in your team's mind for you guys to still stay on the page that you're meant to be in to go get there. And when you're on that same page, you will make the sacrifices to make that happen. You will sacrifice, like I said, time. You will sacrifice going to hang out with your friends versus hanging out with your team for an extra 30 minutes to work on something you guys struggled with in the last game. You will sacrifice so many things because you're all in pursuit of one big thing. So there is no true sacrifice without belief. Everybody's got to be on the same page. Now, here are 3 things that I'm going to hop into and talk about in regards to belief so that you can be able to have that belief system in yourself and in your team with the goals that you have. So the first thing, I'm going to page 36, and I'm going to read this excerpt from Toughness by Jay Bilas, and I absolutely love it. So he played at Duke University. It's not the University of Duke, I don't think, but he played at Duke. He was an All-American. I think he may have played like professionally for a while. But he had like the best basketball coach of all time, and I'm sorry if I offended people, but Krzyzewski is one of the best of all time. And so this excerpt isn't actually from Krzyzewski, but the other one that I'm going to say in a second is. But basically, Jay Bilas is a really darn good basketball player, and here are some things that he was doing to make him as good as he was. So this is pertaining to him and surrounding yourself with people that believe in you. Okay? You don't always have to believe in yourself, but if you're surrounded by people that believe in you, you're better off. Okay? So I'm reading this excerpt from the book, and it has to do with what I just said. So Spadell, which is his coach, stopped, paused, and looked at me with a scowl. He said, "Play at that level? Jay, you're going to be the best basketball player that Rolling Hills High School has ever had. Ever." And this is when Jay didn't believe in himself. He said, "I really couldn't believe it. But after that day, I started to look at myself as worthy of being the best player, and I expected to play at a much higher level and held myself to a higher standard. I looked at it in a large measure, because my coach believed in me and allowed me to view myself that way. That was the first time anyone outside my family has told me I was really good." So who all has been there before, where your family's always saying, your grandma's always saying, your aunt, your uncles are always saying, "You're so good. You're the best basketball player in 5th grade ever." And like after too many people say it, you're like, "Yeah, right. There's no way. Like it's just my family saying it. There's no way I'm that good." But this was the first time that somebody else other than his family thought that he was good. Okay? So but because somebody else other than his family, which is a coach that he respected wholeheartedly in high school, he respected him and he believed in him. He believed wholeheartedly that he was going to be the best player to go through this high school. And as soon as that coach said that, he all of a sudden stood a little taller and said, "You know what? I think I can. I think I can actually do that." And because he had that person in his life, he instilled more confidence in himself. So surround yourself with people that believe in you. And obviously, yes, surround yourself with family members, but get outside of your family. Go to teammates. Go to a coach that you have. Find people that believe in you. Play for people that believe in you. If you play on a team where your coach could care less about you as a human being, you're not going to be able to show up in the best way that you can. And that's just a fact. But if you play for a coach that believes wholeheartedly that you can do whatever it is that you want to pursue, you will go and pursue it, because they're constantly going to remind you of where you want to be. So that was the first thing. Surround yourself with people that believe in you. The second thing is, when you have coaches that believe in you, it's like a springboard towards where you want to be. So think about this. Like I said, your parents are always going to encourage you. Your parents are going to be there for you no matter what. Like whatever dreams that you have, they're going to sacrifice for you. But when you have a coach that believes in you and that is always saying how much they believe in you, just think of how far you can jump. I loved how in the book it said, coaches that believe in you are almost like a springboard. Think of it. You're on a diving board, and when a coach says that they believe in you, you can jump off that board and do like a supersonic dive into the pool because you believe in yourself that much. Sometimes you need somebody like that in your life to be able to tell you how good you are and how good you can be. So I'm going to read another thing from Jay Bilas' book, which is on literally the next page. It's in the chapter called Trust. And it said, "For me, Dick Spadell," which is the one that I just said in the last quote that I gave you, "was the first coach who believed in me. And that belief provided a new sense of confidence that I could achieve whatever I put my mind to. It started with the base of self-confidence and assurance that my mother instilled in me. Parents can lay the foundation, but coaches can serve as a tremendous springboard for that confidence." Coaches can serve as a tremendous springboard for that confidence. So it's not just about surrounding yourself with parents and family that love you and that encourage you. You gotta go outside of them, because your coaches and even your teammates are going to be able to help you pursue whatever goals you have at levels that you can't even imagine. Because this literally happened to Jay Bilas, who played at Duke and who played professionally and who played for one of the best coaches in the college basketball game. I'm going to keep going here. "I want every one of my players to know that I believe in them," which Kansas coach Bill Self said. I believe in what they are capable of doing, and I believe in them enough to hold them accountable for what they are going to do. So remember how I said this was accountability week? Have coaches that are going to hold you accountable. And when coaches get on you for slacking, for giving up early, like those are coaches that believe in you so much that they know you could have stayed up. Those are the coaches you want to be playing for. He also said, I want them thinking nobody can guard them. Remember, this is basketball, and that they will win. If I don't believe in them, they'll know it and they'll feel it and they won't win. So think about that. So I know a lot of you are athletes on here, but some of you are also coaches. When you don't wholeheartedly believe in your team and you're with them in that moment, they will be able to sense it. They will be able to sense whether you believe that they can go do the things that are coming out of your mouth or not. So when you say things, it's better to not say anything at all than to say baloney, okay? So when you're going to say something, you better wholeheartedly believe it. Which, by the way, I have said things before to my athletes which I wholeheartedly believed in, and then a week later or a month later, I was like, you know what? I think I told them the wrong thing. And that's where, like, instantly, as soon as I saw them again, I was like, hey, I was wrong in that one thing, but this is how you should be doing the thing. So think about hitting. Like, there was one time where I was teaching a hitter how to do a certain thing, and then the next week I learned that's probably not something you should do, but I owned it, and I went up to them and I said, hey, I told you to do that one thing, but if you trust me enough, trust me in saying that that's not actually how you do it. This is how you do it. So coaches, don't be afraid to be wrong, but when you're saying things to your players, say it with wholehearted belief that when they do whatever it is that you're telling you, they can go do incredible things. And you will have amazing following from your girls. And you will be closer to the dreams and goals that your team has. Which, by the way, if your team does not have a goal, what is the point of your team? Like, what is the point of being there? Like, I get it. You guys want to have fun sometimes, but I don't care if you're 8 years old, if you're 18 years old. Your team should have goals. Like, your team should have something in mind that when you guys dream it up, it gives them little butterflies in their stomach, but it gets them excited to go in pursuit of something. So this is why I start every single lesson that I have, or every single online training, with this first call I have with one of my girls tonight. We start with what our intentions are. We start with where are we headed? Because if we don't know the destination where we want to be, we won't work as hard, okay? We won't work as hard. But when you are surrounded by someone to your left and your right, and you guys know that the reason why you're doing this shuttle run, or the reason why you're doing these runs until you can't breathe, which, trust me, you're going to be able to last, you know that the people to your left and your right are battling with you, and that they are going to be with you until you pursue whatever goal that is. So if you don't have goosebumps thinking about that right now, then come up with a goal for your team. Come up with a goal for not just your team, but for, like, let's say personally, you should have goals yourself. You should have goals regarding softball, regarding not softball. Like, a lot of people that listen to me, and it's crazy, I know they're not athletes, but they're in pursuit of, let's say, losing weight. They're in pursuit of losing weight, and they have to know that their goal should be healthy, like to be more healthy. And every single decision they make before they get healthy, or before they're at that healthy state that they want to be at, every decision they make is going to go towards that. So just like a team that's going after a state championship, every single at bat matters. Every single walk matters. Every single pitch matters. And at that point, when you know that every single ounce of energy and every single pitch that's thrown is going towards that goal, your team will be unstoppable, because you will be able to battle through things that you know are going to come along. And now, if it scares you, if your goal scares the crap out of you, good. It should scare the crap out of you. But the whole point of having a goal as a team is so that you have someone to your right and your left reminding you where you're headed. Okay? You don't always have to be motivated, but when the people around you are, it's going to help you with that self-motivation. So those are the first two things. Surround yourself with people that believe in you, and use your coach as that springboard. So have a coach instead of just a family member, or like your grandma telling you how good you are. It means more when it comes from a coach or a teammate. So find coaches and teammates that can be there for you. Now, the very last thing is, you are allowed to believe that you're not good enough at times. You have to be able to know that you should give yourself grace. When you believe that you're not good enough, I just read an excerpt of Jay Bilas, who's one of the best basketball players to ever go through Duke. He didn't believe in himself either at one point, but he surrounded himself with people that did believe in him, and it instilled confidence in him. So I'm going to page 40 now for this last topic of you're allowed to believe that you're not good enough every once in a while. By the way, I highlighted a lot of things on this page, so bear with me, but this stuff is dang good. Like, I'm getting fired up, and I love when I get fired up. Okay, so this is what he said. Right after believing I wasn't good enough to make it, which was on a travel team that he was, or not a travel team, but like a very awesome AAU team that he didn't think he was going to make. He said, right after believing I wasn't good enough to make it, I was a starter and named to the All-American team later that summer. And this was all because one coach said that he was good enough. Because of the belief I gained from Spadell and Burleson, which are other coaches, I started to really believe in myself and started to expect more from myself. Belief is a powerful thing, especially when those around you believe in you. Belief is one of the characteristics that leads to toughness, which that's what this book is called, people. How can you be truly tough unless you believe in yourself? How can you believe in yourself if those around you do not? As teammates, listen up. As teammates, it's imperative that we let our fellow teammates know how important their abilities and contributions are. That means for bench players too, fam. And then we can hold each other accountable for them. So every single person on the team has a role. The person on the bench who's not starting in that game has a role. Their role is to show up, especially in practice, and be the hardest worker. Because if you're the hardest worker and you're a bench player, you just made everybody starting intimidated by the fact that you could take their spot. All right? So every single person on the team has a role. Even the starter, even the one who's been hitting 400, their role is to do their job, to hit 400, to hit runners in. Your job on the bench, it's going to be the best teammate ever, because if you encourage your teammate that's on the field, they're going to do well. Okay, and you all gain as a whole, so understand that. Okay, so I just talked about teammates. Now, as coaches, and I know if you're a player right now, I still want you listening. As coaches, it is important to let your players know their importance to the success of the team and why. I'm repeating that because it's dang important. It is important to let your players know their importance to the success of the team and why. Doesn't matter what girl on what team, whether they're a starter or not, it's important for that coach to tell every single player what their role is and why it's their role. I'm going to keep going. Instead of only correcting them and emphasizing their weaknesses. Have you ever been there where you are only getting coached on the things that you're doing wrong, and you always have this mentality of, oh my gosh, I'm doing this wrong. Oh my gosh, I just did this wrong. If you are playing in that state, you're playing afraid, and it's not your fault. You may have coaches that are only telling you what you're bad at, but you may be a person that needs to be told what you're doing well at, because everybody wants to know when they're doing well. Just as bad as you should want to know what you're doing wrong. So understand that you should play for coaches that don't just tell you how to, like, when you're doing something wrong, but that are also telling you when you're doing things right. And when you're showing up early, it does make a difference. And when you're staying late to work on your craft, it does make a difference for the team. So if you're a coach in this perspective, tell the people, even the ones that aren't starters, their role and why you appreciate what they're doing, as long as they're doing it right. So give people love as often as possible. All right, and then last sentence. Actually, there's 2 sentences, maybe 3. If players know you believe in them, it is easier to then hold them accountable and expect them to meet high standards. I'm repeating that again. If your players know you believe in them and you show that you believe in them, it's easier then to hold them accountable and expect them to meet high standards. So if you're always literally at a practice, say you're a coach, and you're always telling the team what they're doing wrong over and over and over, you're almost like a record player that keeps repeating, and all of a sudden they don't even listen to you anymore. So you need to know that the things that are coming out of your mouth, you have to show that you believe in them. And you have, in some ways that I knew my coaches believed in me, was they were arguing with the umpires. And this is something that, like, I'm gonna walk into. They knew that if, like, I was safe and I was called out, they would be out there in that umpire's face vouching for the fact that they knew I was safe, because they were stepping in front of me to go argue that play because they knew wholeheartedly that they believed I was safe. And honestly, that was the best feeling in the world as a player. When my coaches were out there arguing calls that we both knew was wrong, and he or she stepped in front of me and then started arguing with that umpire like, no, that girl was safe, and this is why she was safe. And, like, honestly, as a player, that knew that that was like one of the things that I knew my coaches believed in me because they were doing that. So if you have coaches that are vouching for you no matter what, go, like, you want those coaches on your side. You want them in your hole, like in your tribe. I was thinking of like sniper hole. Okay, I can't even think of it what it is. But you want those people that are fighting for you. Okay, so your belief allows you to push them harder and have them respond positively. Your belief makes them tougher. Your belief allows you to push them harder and have them respond positively. Your belief makes them tougher. So as coaches, your belief allows you to push them harder. If you believe in them and they know you believe in them, you can ask probably way bigger things than you thought you could have out of them, and they will do it. But if you don't show that you believe in them and you go tell them to do something hard, they're not going to want to try. They're not going to want to put every ounce of effort into it. But your players will work harder when you show them that you care about them more than anything. So if you needed to hear that today, I hope you did. This is pretty much like all I had to talk about today, and I did almost exactly 30 minutes. But I got my point out. And I want to throw this out there too. If you are currently playing on a team where you have coaches that don't believe in you, and maybe you're stuck on that team for the rest of the season and you need someone other than your parent to believe in you, I want to believe in you. And first of all, I already do. I love you and I believe in you. But if you need a coach that's going to be there for you, then go to ashleybtraining.com. I want to be your virtual hitting coach / mental coach. So if you don't have someone in your life that's inspiring you, that's literally firing you up to go take on the field, I want to be your coach and I want to be there for you. So I want to do all these things that Jay Bilas talks about in this Toughness book. I want to be your person. So if you are interested in this, talk to your parents, obviously. But I want to be your online training coach. So even though I live maybe states away, like I work with some kids in California, even though I'm states away, I'm here to be your mentor. I'm here to be your coach. I'm here to be your teammate towards the goals that you want to pursue for yourself. So if you are interested in online training, go to ashleybtraining.com. Go to the last tab. It says online training, and you can sign up there. But if you have other questions and need other things answered, always send me a DM. You can do that for sure. Again, if you miss any of these episodes, which I'm just going to say it right now, this is probably one of the best episodes ever. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten this fired up and got my point across so fast. This is going to be uploaded on YouTube by tomorrow at the latest. So you can rewatch any of these lives that I do now at 2 p.m. on Mondays. On YouTube, just type in my name, Ashley Burkhart, which don't forget the D before the T, and you'll be able to see all the episodes that I've done in the past on coaching. So with that, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I will see some of you next week at 2 p.m. on Monday, which I'm here every single week giving you live coaching. So if this inspired you, first of all, go tell a friend. Go tell a friend to go watch this, because first of all, we talked about accountability. Be the best accountability buddy and send this to your teammate, because now this other teammate's going to watch it and y'all can be accountable for each other's goals. And you guys, you should have goals on your team for bigger and better things. So share this with your team. You guys are amazing. Aubrey said it was great. Thank you for your time. Oh, girlfriend, thank you. Thank you for watching. You're the bomb.com. Okay, have an incredible rest of your Monday. You guys are amazing. See you later.